Junk food has a variety of forms, but in this variety of stuff, I think sugar, and the stuff it flavors, is pretty much the most prominent of them. I'm sure the majority of us have had a very strong desire to consume something with sugar at some point. Our taste buds get a heavenly sense from them, so it gives a tempting taste. It's so good that it makes you feel like eating it again and again and again until you develop an addiction, just so you can feel that sweetness for at least 10 seconds in your mouth. You should all understand that by now. Of course, sugar addictions do generate problems, but I'll speak on that later. Now just remember, when I say sugar, I am only talking about the flavorful sucrose kind you find in snacks, not the mostly safe fructose kind that is present in fruits. I've had a unique experience with sugary stuff for pretty much my whole life. I'm an absolute sucker for them compared to regular people, to the point where I never understood what a diet felt like. Although I was warned numerous times by my mom about the consequences it gives, I still found it difficult to genuinely care for myself. So I'll tell you some important instances of my experience with sugar throughout my life. When I was around 5 or 6, there was this small cylindrical container that had these strange white cubes in it in our kitchen. It had this golden lid with a tiny opening in one of the regions along the edge. It was the size of a hand and was located amongst the salt and pepper bottles. Whenever I would come to the kitchen for lunch or dinner, I would always make a curious gaze at this container for a second or two. The white cubes just seemed strange. Then, one day, I somehow got the thought to take the container, open it, and consume one of the white cubes. The taste that emanated from it seemed otherworldly at the time, and thus my eating habits were changed forever. I would later find out that these white cubes were typically called sugar cubes, and also the mineral known as sugar. After that experience, I would regularly go to that container to eat more of those cubes. Kind of like that kid named Johnny from that nursery rhyme you've all heard. My mom would end up having to occasionally refill the container with more cubes while I constantly ate them. Until at some point she kinda pressured me to stop. Regardless though, my experience with sugar still didn't really stop there. I still eventually came across other snacks like your typical donuts and chocolate bars that were pretty rich in that sucrose stuff, and I really loved the wonderful tastes they gave. But there was one snack to me that stood out from the rest. This snack was so influential to me that I have basically considered it my favorite of all time for the past several years. I'll reveal it through this origin story. So this happened when I was 10. I was at school while it was a lunch recess period. I had pretty much finished my food that time, so I wandered around the class out of boredom. Then I stumbled upon one of my classmates holding this eye-catching packet of cookies. I was pretty intrigued by them, and I wanted them. So this is how my interaction with my classmate went. "Hey, those cookies look cool. I know it's not a great idea to share food and all, but can I have one?" Sure you can." Renat, are you good? That last bit was a bit exaggerated, but I still did kind of feel like that. The Oreo sandwich cookie. It straight up redefined my perspective of all the sugar products I ate before it that I just spoke of. The vanilla flavoring on it combined with the two dark biscuits on the sides was so potent on me that it basically would become my go-to snack almost instantaneously. So when I found out that this small shop in my apartment complex was selling them, I was ecstatic on the inside, and I pressured my mom to get them. I did it so frequently that she then decided to let me go to the shop by myself every day with some cash to buy the Oreos myself. I also found out about boxes of Oreos that looked like this that we could put in our kitchen cabinet, which provided much easier access for me since I wouldn't have to go to the shop every time I wanted them. And it only got even better when I saw the different flavors. Especially the double stuffed flavor. That one was my favorite. Until one day my shop kinda discontinued selling it. Or something. That was a pretty sad day. Some of you probably don't like that double stuffed flavor, but my tongue found it amusing anyways. Now, I have had a stable consumption rate of these marvelous cookies, but then something funny happened with my Oreo craving once. One time when I was 12, I was on a trip visiting relatives who I got to stay with. Now, my mom was not there on this trip for reasons, so my grandmother accompanied me. So, right near the home I was in, there was, again, a little shop that sold these row packets of Oreos that contained more cookies each compared to the original packs. And my relatives who I was with would buy me these packets just about every day, and sometimes I would go there with them and buy it myself. So this gave me a very unhealthy freedom to get Oreos almost any time I wanted, even though I was strongly advised to restrict myself. So this purchasing spree ended up growing so out of control that at one point the stock of Oreos for that shop got empty pretty quickly, and some of my relatives there persuadingly blamed me for it. Now that I think about it, it's quite likely they were right. And I'm actually a little embarrassed, but also not that ashamed. When I got back and met my mom again, as soon as she realized the thing I just said, she put a restriction on me from Oreo cookies plus some other junk stuff for the next month. That's right. For a whole month, I could not have those wonderful cookies that changed my life. Regardless though, it was probably a good idea for my health because, as I mentioned earlier, there are some shortcomings it generates. You probably have already been told that ungodly amounts of sugar can make you pretty sick with stuff. I don't know how I managed to come all these years without suffering even once. Still, however, I don't like the fact that there are people out there suffering with the health problems anyways. And if you're one of them watching this, just know that I legit feel really sorrowful for you. So just ensure that you all understand this. Unhealthy things can be cool, but a maintained eating habit is cooler. It would be for your own benefit. Oreo, 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 Oreo. Anyway, yeah, hey guys. If you made it this far into the video, thank you very much. I'm really sorry for taking like 4 months to upload another one of these videos, these long videos. Yeah, I'm not sure when the next one's gonna be coming because I have other more shorter ideas in mind. That sounded a little weird, but never mind. Anyway, I honestly kind of didn't like the script I made for this video. I'm hoping to make better scripts the next time I make one. Anyway, yeah, good day, I guess.